because that's clearly vastly different.
He's just pissed off because I have hair.
There you go.
It's so true.
I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say,
jealous.
Hey, John, you might want to check the top of Jay's head before you say that.
That's right.
If he wants to get jealous, that's fine. He doesn't know me well enough to be mean yet. Okay.
Don't trust me. I know how. That's why we heckle strangers.
I was going to say, the man heckles people for a living.
And they give us money on top of it.
He heckles people for money. We ain't paying.
That's right. That's
exactly.
Right.
Hence real quick question before we get started. I want to make sure that I don't introduce this into the interview only to find out it's not you. You do have a book out called Be #Alive.
That's correct. I do. Absolutely.
And is Lisa your fiance still?
Lisa is my wife. We just celebrated 4 years last week.
Good deal. Okay. Yeah. Again, I wanted to make sure I didn't go. So how are things with you and Lisa? Only to find out,
Lisa who?
Trust me, there's a few times I thought she was done. So yeah, Lisa, you're not that far off base.
Lisa, you mean my ex-wife who just took everything from me? Thanks for asking, you asshole.
I am a handful all the time. All the time. Just all the time.
All right. We ready to start?
I've been ready. What the hell what's taking you so long?
I'm just trying to get up to speed, buddy. That's it.
There you go, buddy.
It's late in the afternoon. Here we go. This is number 2. 3, 2, 1. And we are back. The approach shot. I am John Ashton. He is Neil. I ain't paying you nothing to shut up. Michaels. He always tries to put a little something in between the Neil and the Michaels thing because he thinks he's a comedian.
He thinks. But he's not.
I think, we promised you a funny man, and I think maybe we should
skip
bring
past me.
Jay in now. And I mean, you've talked to him for a minute and a half, Jay. Just, pontificate. Is Neil a comedian?
Well, I thought it's yet to be determined. That's all. I want to be fair at this point because I've only had that much time with him. So,
I got you.
I don't want to. The
interesting thing there is
now. I mean, we just met.
Yeah. Exactly. The interesting thing is, John and I have known each other for quite a while now, and the fact that he still has to ask that question. Really
of all your guests? Did you ask that question of all your guests?
I was just trying to get another opinion. I figured his expertise would lend him an expert way of looking at it. But anyhow, we told you about something that we have done with some golf scrambles that we have done. We have suggested other people do it. You've heard us mention it before. Now we find out some guy does it for a living. So we want to know, where's our cut, Jay? Marc Chambers is here.
That was the very first thing. First of all, let's do a proper introduction for those of you who are not in on the inside jokes that are going on here. Marc Chambers has joined us. He's a comedian, he's an author, and he is the founder of Whole Hecklers. And for those of you who have listened to the show for a while, you know that this is something that John has had buzzing around his head for a while. Like, wouldn't it be cool to do this? And we've had some people do this, but never has he gone out and formed a company and done this. But Marc Chambers has. And so having the two of them here, I sort of feel like it's good that I'm in the middle here because I feel like I'm going to be refereeing. I think John's going to have his hand out for most of the day here, Jay. But
running a little interference.
How did you come up with this and turn this into a company from just a concept?
Oh well, look, I would like to say I felt like it just fell in my lap, but I'll tell you this. I was about just coming up on 7 years ago. I've been a stand-up comedian for 21 years. Okay. I'm based out of Colorado. My home club in Colorado is Comedy Works, which is hands down the best comedy club in the country. But I've been really, really fortunate to work with some really great people. I have a history. I'd like to share that a little bit because that tells the story a little bit better. Sure. I started in corporate America 30 years ago as a corporate trainer. That's how I got into public speaking. And during that time, as an employee in that space, I got into stand-up comedy. I did. A friend of mine signed me up for an open mic night, and I ended up on stage, and I haven't stopped since. I was in the telecom industry for a little less than 20 years. And then the last 11 years of my professional career outside of being a stand-up comic is I worked in the cannabis industry. Okay. And about just a little short of 7 years ago, a coworker of mine who worked in the marketing department came and asked me if myself and another comic would come to this golf tournament where they were sponsoring a hole and heckle the golfers on their hole. They said they would provide us with a couple of mics, and they'd make sure that we had a tent so we were comfortable, and some chairs, and made sure we had refreshments all day. So I invited a buddy of mine. I said, hey man, let's go over to this golf tournament. It'll be a great time for you. Besides, the golf tournament was being put on by a cannabis company. And he happened to be going through cancer treatment at the time, and I knew that he consumed quite a bit of weed. So I was like, and you're going to probably get a whole bunch of weed when you're done at the end of the day. So he was like, yeah, let's go out and do it. So we did. I didn't do anything with it for a year, you guys. I didn't. I sat on it, but I knew it was something, because that day the attention that we got was incredible. They had a lot of different activities all over the golf course that day. They had Hooters girls out there, and they had a great big photo booth thing where you could be while you're taking a golf shot. They had goofy things, made it look like they had all kinds of stuff. Long shot. They had the cannon guy out there, everything. Mm-hmm. But we were the most talked about thing on the hole that day.
Yeah.
So, right. We were the most talked about thing on the golf course that whole day. People talked about it for weeks after that. I would run into people. They'd be like, man, we had the best time. That was the most fun we've ever had at a golf tournament. I knew it was something, and I didn't do anything for a year. A year later, I was sitting at my uncle's house, and he's an avid golfer. And he happens to work for Land Rover. And I know that he works with their charity portions of their business. Mm-hmm. And I want to get into their golf tournaments. And I knew this idea was good enough that if I told him about it, he would let me know if he didn't like it. So I sat down and I told him this idea. He said, put it on paper, son. He said, and bring it back to me. He said, if it's good enough, I'll put you in our golf tournaments. Mm. And so it didn't take me that long to get it on paper and get something to him, because I admire his advice. He's a hero of mine. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this to him as soon as I can, because I know it's an idea. I know it's good. Yeah. So I simplified the idea, and I wrote it down again, and I vetted it. I went to a few different other places. Some of my buddies that are in the golf industry, people that I know that play golf, but I also asked total strangers, right? People who kind of don't know anything about the game of golf. What did they think of the idea alone? Just, was it funny? Was it fun? Right? At the time, and you brought this up, Neil, at the time, I was also in the midst of writing my book. And my lovely wife, who was my fiance at the time, would tell you that she was very frustrated with me, as was the publishing company, because I was missing publishing dates. That's because I had this idea that I was excited about. I was like, oh, this could be the thing. This could be the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I, as a person who loved to make people laugh, I knew that I could use this to help people. Okay, right. That's what I knew more than anything. I knew we could use this to help people. I knew I was good at making people laugh, and I could find the right comedians to work with me on the golf course to make this good. But I wanted to help people. I'm going to talk about that. I came home. I told my wife, "Hey, I got to get this idea. We got to do this. This is our lottery ticket, and we're going to retire in a year." And we just, I mean, that's how we get, right? We get excited about something.
And she bought it too, didn't she?
Or not, or whatever. But you know what I mean, right? You get excited. You want the thing, and so she's like, you are in the middle of writing a book, and you are missing publishing dates. And the publisher's calling me because you won't return the publisher's calls. I was like, but I have the thing. Who cares about the book? So she sat down with me. It was a Sunday evening. She sat down with me. She said, "Okay, I'm gonna listen to you, but you got to get me everything we need for the book by tomorrow. Close the business." I said, "I'll do it." Right. My now current lovely wife, Lisa, God bless her. She helped us get that business plan down in less than 48 hours. In a
Wow.
week, we had a business license. Um, I want to say maybe within less than 30 days of that, we had a logo. Um, and as of 2017, we're trademarked.
Whoa.
My point is that I knew what this was, and I believed in it so much. To see the success that it's having today, I should tell you that I'm a little surprised, only because I can't believe we're doing this just coming out of a pandemic, that we're having this kind of success. But it makes complete sense to me because of what we wanted it to be, which was to help people. That's what we wanted to do. I wanted to give comedians jobs. I did. I wanted to give comedians work, because we have the way that we structured it what would make them autonomous from having an agency to get gigs. We have a package that we're doing our own. There's a comedy show that's a part of the day package of us heckling out on the golf course, right? That allows people to start raising money the night before their tournament. But a comic can make a decent wage from doing that as they book tournaments. Gentlemen, there are up to 1 million golf tournaments in the United States annually.
I know. That's going to make you busy, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I know that's a long-winded way to tell you how we got here, but that's how we got here.
So Jay, let's step back to what you just talked about, because I think it's really interesting. So people get the idea, we talk about this like we all know what we're talking about because we've been talking about it, but just so that people understand, the whole heckling idea is on generally a par 3. It's usually like a hole-in-one hole. They'll put a car out, and this is the okay, people are going to get a chance to win a big prize, and people step up to the tee, and you guys just let them have it.
Yeah.
And the reason that they don't hit you over the head with a golf club is because you're raising money for a charity, and so the idea is they pay to shut you up.
Yeah, so we do a little, Neil, that's a great. So that we do a little commercial, right? We do a commercial right at the beginning of every group that comes up to the hole, because we want them to know who we are, right?
All right.
But we do that in the morning as well. We're self-contained, right? It's me and another comic. We get there an hour and a half before the shotgun. We get all set up. We come back in. We get in our clown suits, and then we go, and just about 30 minutes before the golfers go out, we go around, we mingle with them. We have these mini bullhorns, and we go out on the driving range, and we mess around with them a little bit, and we tell them, we give them a hard time. Hey, hope some of you guys got thick skin today. It's gonna get a little loud on number 3, right? And then, but the anticipation, most of the time, and most tournaments that we work with, they've already told them that we're coming. But this is how we handle that. Before they go out, we grab the microphone and we let them know, right? It's right after the marshal or the head pro gives the rules, right?
Right.
I'll go up and I'll say, good morning and welcome to beautiful Greenbrier Golf Course. My name is Jay Marc. I'm here with my good friend Brian Kellen. Between the two of us, there's 40 plus years of stand-up comedy. And today what we're bringing you whole hecklers. We're a mock sportscasting team, and we are going to be out on beautiful number 70. Number 7, it plays 180 yards from the tee box, and we're going to be roasting you out there. Oh, yeah, it's a hole-in-one hole, but I don't believe anybody's going to be winning the car today with us chewing in their ear. But we're out there to roast you and toast you and raise funny money. That's why we're here today.
Yeah.
I make that clear right at that point, because that's what's important. So they do know, hey, it may appear threatening, but it's not. It's matter of fact, my friend Brian, we do a little commercial as all the golfers come to our hole, because even after we do that in the morning, we still want to make sure that every group comes through understands the message of why we're there.
Yeah,
because that's important to me. I'm there to help the tournament raise as much money as they can. Right. I really don't. We've already been paid. 100% of the money we raise that day goes directly to the charity. I even sell T-shirts of my own that go directly to the charity. We want to raise money, so we tell them that. When they come to the hole, we have fun with them, right? We do goofy things. as we're giving them the commercial, we repeat it, right? Oh, this is Brian, I'm Jay, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I wear a bow tie and I usually wear a matching black clover hat that that matches.
Yeah.
But look at me, I'm 6'4", and I weigh less than 180 pounds. So when they come up, I might say things like, I go, yeah, there's a couple different ways you can help us raise that money, Neil. A couple different ways you can do that. One of them is you can get us to roast your buddy over there. So your friend John, we'll go in hard on him if you want us to, and you can make a donation for that. Or you can try to pay to get us to shut up, and that's called shut the buck up with the B. Look at me, for crying out loud, I look like Barkley and Urkel had a baby. right? So that's like, we're engaging, but we want to have fun. That's the
exactly
idea. My friend Brian will say to them, he'll say this, he goes, yeah, and if we're doing our job right, he goes, 3 of you will be laughing your ass off. Right? Because that unlucky guy with the club in his hand is not going to be having a good time at all.
Right? Exactly. We're going to delve into a little bit more specifics. We'll get some of the routines. We'll get some of the costs. We'll get how you get in touch with this dude. If you say, hey, that sounds like a great idea. I didn't like it when you told me, John, but now J. Marc's saying it, and suddenly it sounds good. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation, you and I. Okay, we'll be right back. We are the Approach Shot. All right, number 3. 3, 2, 1. And we are back. We are the Approach Shot. I'm John Ashton. He is Neil Michaels. J. Marc Chambers, our guest, the comedian, whole hecklers. And are any of you guys golfers?
We are. We all play. So I right now, I told you, I work with 2 other comedians.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Gill, who is a fantastic headlining touring stand-up comic, spends his time bi-coastally between here and LA. I also work with Brian Kellen, who's been the opening act for George Lopez for the last 17 years.
Wow.
He's also he's a business partner of ours in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with those guys primarily. We are expanding in the spring of 2022, and we're probably going to bring on about a half a dozen other comics to help us cover the country.
Fantastic.
John and I are available, by the way, in Louisville and San Diego. We're not professional comedians, but we are, we think we're funny.
Do you offer, are any of you good enough golfers to offer the ability to, because one of the things that we've added when we have our guy do it is, because he's a pretty good golfer, is for a little extra money, he'll take the shot for you.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't count toward your score.
No, yeah, we do that. That's one of the funnest things you did. That was the question you asked me was, were we golfers? Yes.
Yeah.
We're all golfers. I would tell you we're not necessarily good golfers, but we're all golfers.
Right. But then who is? Okay.
Right. But we all, and we do that. We have that. We have a little thing that we keep on our table that says if this is too intimidating, we'll do it for you, right? And then and if somebody always asks, what does that mean? Because we don't sell it necessarily, but then we pony it up. Now we do a raffle on our hole, John. That's how we get the majority of our donations. We usually give away some type of cash, like a $250 to $300 Visa gift card that we raffle off for $30 donations of $30 or more. But we always offer up for $100. We will hit your shot for you.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I was going to ask you what if you don't mind telling us what does it cost the organization that's doing the scramble to get you there?
So we have 2 packages. Like I said, we have the whole Hecklers package, which has us on the golf course all day, right? That has us from the time we before the tournament starts. We get there early. We just ask for a utility cart so we can get our equipment to the hole and get set up.
Sure.
That package is a $2,500 package. It gets us there the whole day. You're gonna, at the end of the day, we're gonna tell you how much money you helped us raise. We're gonna thank the sponsor. We're gonna give the raffle away to somebody who won it, who made a generous donation. That package is again, it's $2,500. It has a $500 travel stipend that goes along with it when we have to go outside of our we have regions. And then there's the Comedy on the Green. Comedy on the Green is a comedy show the night before your golf tournament. We usually tell them to upcharge their people that are going to come to the comedy show, either upcharge them if they're participating in the tournament, or if they're just coming to the show. It's a $20 to $30 ticket. All that money goes directly to them because it's part of the fundraising efforts. And then we're on the golf course with them the whole next day. That package is $3,500 total, and it does have a $500 travel stipend.
That is such a great idea because in a lot of people who do golf scrambles, you've got everything works the same way. You show up, you register, you go up and down the aisles of the silent auction stuff. You play, and it takes, they go, well, we've got 4.5, 5 hours. No, it takes 6.5, 7 hours to play a scramble. All right. And then you're done, and your wife has called you 4 times. When you coming home? And they've got a dinner. And nobody stays for the dinner, and everybody's like, I got to get home. I'm out of here. If I win it, here, take my tickets. If I win anything, let me know. Yeah, like your friends are going to do that. I won $500. You didn't win shit. That kind of thing. Right? So what we did a couple of years ago with one of our big clients was we convinced them to do a dinner the night before. At the dinner, they did the silent auction.
Yeah.
At the dinner, we did have the comedians there to do a little bit of a show beforehand. Yeah. And what happened then is it was free if you had already, signed up to play in the scramble. But if you wanted to bring your wife, it was $20.
Yeah. And there you go.
They made an extra $2,000 on that.
There you go. You just answered it. You did. Yeah. You just answered it. Right? Because not everybody's spouse is going to be at the tournament the next day. They might come for their after party, or they might be a part, whatever.
Right.
But there's not. So, or who, right. So there are ways to go, hey, honey, I am playing that golf tournament, but there's a gala the night before and there's a great comedy show.
Yeah.
We should go.
Yes.
And there's a silent auction, and I'm sure there's something you can find. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we looked at it. We looked at it from how could we help the tournament right out of the gate before? In other words, how could we be giving them money already? Right.
Yeah.
We're just an event cost. We're not, we're no different than a food or alcohol vendor. Where we're different is we give you money back when we leave. We're giving you something back. Again, I'll repeat it the whole time we're talking today. I want to help people.
Right.
That's what this is about. Yeah, we're having fun. I want to help people. Like, that's what's important to me, and that's what's important to our project and how we work. I want people to see it that way.
Have you ever had a situation where you didn't have enough money to give them back to cover the cost they paid you to come?
Sure, absolutely. That happens. We can't determine how deep somebody's pockets are.
Right.
That's just unfortunate. And I'm not going to fleece people when they come to the hole. They're there to have fun and have a good time.
Yeah.
And it just might not have been the audience, right? So now the thing that we've changed is we did have to kind of rethink who our clientele was, that we can't just work with everybody. Sure, I want to help the local high school raise money so they have new football uniforms. But that's a bunch of local working dads trying to do their best, and moms trying to do their best to help their kids. Yeah. They might not have the money necessarily that we're looking to try to help raise. So we do our, like I've had to say no. I've had to tell somebody no as badly as they wanted us, or they didn't have enough golfers. They said they had 144. We get there, find out they have 76.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't give you but that's, again, we're an event cost. My goal is not to, I won't promise you're going to get that back. That's wrong. Right. But I believe, because now the space that we work in, John, that we're able to do that without a problem. And having a fundraiser on the whole truly helps. Like, it just does. It's It's a progressor. It's something for people. They get excited about it. As long as you don't make it the pro shop, right? Like, I get it. You want to give them but that's an easy do. I want to make it real for them, right? And but again, that comes out of our budget. What do okay, if I got to show up with a $500 gift card to make sure we raise enough money that day, that's what we're going to do.
Well, and like you said at the beginning, the tournament that you were at, when the idea hit you, you had all of this other stuff going on, which are also event costs. And the fact that people talk about you more than they talk about Hooters girls, which is probably, them being nice.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is,
I wouldn't talk about us that much.
Yeah. Even if they took more pictures of them than they did of you guys.
Right.
Put it that way.
That's right. The distraction.
But even if they didn't make the money back that year, they probably thought, well, this is fantastic, and it's something that we can talk about as we pitch it for the next tournament and the next tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, hire you for our marketing department. But that's right. That's the idea, right? So now when we have conversations with people, that's what we say. I want to build a relationship with you, right? I'll tell them, I'll say, how many golfers did you have this year? And they say, oh, we had 120 golfers. Wouldn't you like to have a full boat next year? What if we could double that and you had to have an AM and a PM shotgun? Right? What if you could do that? We're that great of an attraction, and I know it. I'll be honest with you. I'm just a kid from North Bend, Colorado. I didn't believe, doesn't that sound like a place where Robin Hood would retire? You went to North Glen. That's where you. I had a couple kids. Right, that's where I'm from. I would tell you I didn't believe that I could get, but that I know that this is what I was supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
That we were supposed to get here. So yeah.
That's great, man.
Are you finding that as you consider expanding and bringing this to other cities, since you're in a city that definitely has seasonality, you and John are both in a place where, April to October is really good golf weather, but
Yes,
here in San Diego or LA,
I wouldn't lie, it's gorgeous today, Neil. 70 degrees here. I don't know how.
Yeah, because it's Colorado, because that means 12 inches of snow tomorrow.
Yeah. You're right.
But I mean, if you're in cities where in Florida, in Texas, in California, where you can golf 24/7, 365, I mean, does that not help you expand the business even more?
It does, and that's what we're going for. So part of our venture is to get we're heading down to Phoenix, Scottsdale in December, right?
Perfect.
There's about a half a dozen contracts that are out that are just behind that tournament. So the goal is to try to go down there and then just stay and fulfill all those other events while we're down there. And we do have some anticipated business. We have meetings with American Golf and a few other folks because we do want to expand in those areas. Troon's a great golf company. We'd like to work with them. So we're going to use that time valuably to grow in that space. But you're right. The goal is to be regional. That's what the whole is, or the hope is to be able to, in spring of 2022, expand regionally. Somebody's covering the West Coast. Somebody's covering the Central region, part of the United States, or Midwest, or whatever you want to call it, then Central, and then obviously the East Coast. We believe that we have enough talent that is capable of doing it. It'll sort of be like I won't refer to it as franchising, but it's more like contracting the comics. We own the intellectual property and everything of the product. They're contracted to do the business, and they can go off and do as much business as they want. They just own that region of the company, of the country. I feel confident that they will be able to stay busy enough, or at least if they want to pepper this in with their stand-up comedy, that we'll be able to cover all the regions just fine.
I mean, if you've got a need in Kentucky and Indiana, I know a podcaster who
you got it
already sort of has this idea going.
Hey, you don't have to twist my arm. I'll drag you out there on the mic.
So you market.
That's the only way you find out if you got the gums to do it.
You market directly to the courses then, rather than marketing directly to the organizations that are doing the scramble, right?
So gotcha. So both, right, John?
Okay.
The organizations are the better resource. They are, because they're more responsive. The golf courses, if they have an event coordinator or food and beverage people that manage and run events, they're always the best people to work with.
Right.
But it's primarily, though, that we go to the events themselves. So to give an example, the organization that we're doing in for this event, December 17th, is a organization called Angels on Patrol. Their tournament's called the Take Flight Golf Classic. They hired us. We sent them an email marketing. That's what we do, some of our marketing that way. And they responded to that email. They respond to if they send us an email, and then we usually reply. Those are the people we usually want to talk to, because they're the ones planning the event, and they're planning all the activities that go into the event. So if we do it right, and going back to what you said, Neil, which is I'm not just trying to market you this way. I'm trying to help your golf tournament for the forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I promise you, people will leave it talking about us. And then next year we've had this happen, right? They hired us a year ago or 2 years ago, and then for whatever reason, it wasn't in their budget the next year, right? We decided to do something different. And the call we got the very next day after their tournament that year that they didn't hire us was, "Can we hire you for next year?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We messed up big time.
Right. And so, it seems like it is. It's the tournament coordinators, the people that are usually they're the better people to work with, because they understand it. Okay, we want to grow this and make this the best we possibly can. I had a woman, honest goodness truth. There's a tournament called the One Spark Golf Tournament, and it's a tournament about giving back. Okay, that's what the tournament's about. And it was at beautiful Arrowhead Golf Course here in Colorado. And we're on, I think, I want to say it's 11 or 12, which is a par 3. But anyway, we're sitting there, and this woman had come probably about an hour into the tournament, and she just posted up underneath the tree. She sat in her golf cart, and she seemed to know everybody as they were coming through, and a few of the girls stopped and hung out with her, and they came. I didn't understand, but she was really kind of like she wasn't. She was like monitoring us. Like, I was like, wow, am I going to get a report card at the end of this? What's going to happen? I feel bad, right? By the end of the tournament, she left, and then she came back, and she probably spent like the last 45 minutes with us while the tournament was going on. She came over to us, and she told me her husband's name is Troy Bergman. He's the guy who organizes the tournament. He's the tournament organizer. She happens to be his wife. I don't want to cuss. She said when my husband Troy came to me to talk to me about this, I told him that was the stupidest damn thing I had ever heard of in my whole life. And she said, "We're hiring you back forever." Forever. Again,
See, only a wife and a lady,
right,
would admit her mistake
right
in that way.
Right.
Basically, she said, "I messed up thinking he was an idiot, but I'm only going to tell you. And don't you tell him I said that."
I'll deny it to the death.
That's exactly what I was thinking when he said that to me.
We are coming right back.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, she's probably going to tell me, "Don't you tell Troy."
Neil has been diligently putting together a group of 6 questions called our patented 6-pack. And are the answers going to be deep or funny? I don't know. Hang out. J. Marc Chambers is going to be right back with answering these 6 questions here on the Approach Shot. All right, now number 4 in 3, 2, 1. We are the Approach Shot, and we are back. It has been hilarity. Hilarity has ensued so far. J. Marc Chambers is our guest from Whole Hecklers. Give the dude a call if you got a golf tournament going on, as long as it's not in Kentucky or Indiana. And then only joking. But it is time, Neil, for the 6-pack. I know you've been putting questions together for at least the last 15, 20 minutes.
It has been a labor of love for as long as I could possibly squeeze in. So yeah, probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
J. Marc, this is our patented 6-pack. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You give me the answer. It comes right off the top of your head. So this is like your stand-up training. There's no thinking. There's no, let me ponder on this. Give me your first answer. You got it? Let's go. Question 1. What's the funniest golf phrase or golf word you have heard on a golf course?
Golf phrase or golf word? to phrase. Actually, it was a reaction to a phrase. A guy stumbled up to our hole, and his buddies put him on the tee box first, and he said we were on number 17, and he said, I got at least 18 more holes to play. and I asked him, I said, where did you start? And my buddy Brent said, he started sober. So that was my favorite. Loved it. Favorite.
Perfect. Question number 2. If you, since you are a golfer, could have a beer and talk sports with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Living or dead? Living or talk sports with anybody, a beer and play a round of golf. It would probably be Arnold Palmer. It would be, because that guy was epic.
Yeah.
Like he was cool before golf was cool. Like he made it cool. Like, yeah, Arnie. I think it'd be cool. I could see him just burning a heater, just walking up the fairway. I could.
No disagreement here.
Right.
You might even partake some of that CBD stuff you guys.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah, I did notice how this all came about in Colorado. What a surprise that a creative idea came around Colorado.
How ironic.
How ironic. Question 3. What's the most embarrassing thing that has either happened to you, one of your teammates, or a person that you have heckled?
Okay, so we were doing the Last for the Troops golf tournament in Orlando at Magnolia Palms Golf Course in Disney World. Mm-hmm. And normally when we heckle somebody, we're not trying to hurt you, or we're just having fun, right? And everybody's already in on the joke, so it's all good. We have this one guy that plays in the tournament every year, and he's the one guy that's always serious. Like, he just can't get out of himself to have fun. Right. And okay. He is foot joyed head to toe, and it's perfect. And the rest of those guys look like they didn't know they were coming to play golf that day. He's so serious. And I just wanted to get him to back off a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I told him that I had an extra bottle of Cinecott in my bedroom to help loosen him up a little bit. And and everybody was laughing at it, of course. And then, of course, Brian set off the siren when he swung the club. I've never, and up to that point, we've been doing it for a few years, I'd never seen anybody throw a club. He threw his club halfway down to almost to the edge of the green. And he didn't even walk back towards us. He just walked straight. He sprayed his ball. He hit a bad shot. It's embarrassing.
Some people just have no sense of humor,
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy.
Whole Heckler's is going to be.
He always makes a generous donation, which is odd. But
there you go. Whole Heckler's is going to need a sponsor like Kaiser Permanente or something.
Probably. You're probably right.
Maybe life insurance instead. Question 4: which would make you happier? Someone paying $100 to have you stop heckling them, or for someone to get a hole-in-one on one of your holes?
I'd love to see somebody get a hole-in-one. I think that would be the funnest, coolest thing, because we record while we're on the hole, and it would be, I think it would explode, because we're already having a party at the hole, but I think it would be a cool experience. I think it'd be a fun thing, because it'd be something fun for people to share too.
Yeah. So it's never happened?
What's that?
Has it ever happened that somebody's gotten a hole-in-one?
Never happened.
Never happened.
But I feel like if it did, it would be the ultimate reverse heckle.
Yeah.
It would be. Perfect. Question 5: the approach shot genie is out of his bottle and ready to grant you a wish. You get to choose between hole hecklers becoming a national golf phenomenon, which it sounds like it's on its way there, or to have your book be #live, become a bestseller, or for you, J. Marc Chambers, to have a hole-in-one. Which of the 3 do you choose, and why? Look, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube or something, his face just went to a Holy crap! I gotta answer that.
Wow. Okay, so I'm really grateful and proud of my work. I'm grateful because I feel like, again, I'm a kid who got here and I wasn't supposed to get here, so this is cool for me. And I'm in it. I'm working in a space where not very many people look like me. So I have all these great relationships and all these great people that don't know how beautiful and how wonderful the people in the game of golf are. Okay. So my work has gotten me there. My work has, and I'm proud of it. I really am. I feel blessed and I'm humbled by the fact that I get to do it. So I feel like I as long as I continue to do what I'm doing every day, those things are going to happen. They're going to, right? It would be the hole in one.
There you go.
It would be the hole in one. It would be the I've never been close. I trust me, when money games, I get my share of greenies during the day. But man, I would love just one time to just stick it close, see it right, snap the pin and go in. Just one time.
I do get the feeling if you got a hole in one, somehow everybody would buy you drinks instead of the way you'd somehow find a way to talk somebody into it and heckle them into buying you drinks and say that's the way it should be and get the heck out.
We're going to update the unwritten rules of golf.
That's right. All in one afternoon. Well, this is going to be easy question 6 because for those of you who have taken some time and looked up our guest and his work, he is very humble about the fact that you ought to be living your best life and he's blessed and all that. So question 6, which we ask everybody who comes on the show, is since we are the approach shot, J. Marc Chambers, in your approach to life, what is the one rule that you live by?
Humility. So my dad was a police officer for 36 years. When my dad passed, I found out that he had been volunteering at the women's shelter every week for 20 years.
Whoa.
And I didn't know that.
Wow.
And my dad was a wonderful human being and a great man, and he was my hero and all that stuff, right? He was. But I didn't know that about him. The first time I did the first time I headlined in Greeley, Colorado at a college bar called the Down Under, okay? And my sister lived up there with her fiance, and so she invited as many friends and people we could get up to Greeley, Colorado. And my parents drove from Denver up to Greeley to go see me headline, and they'd never seen me do stand-up at all up to that point. And I'd probably been doing stand-up comedy for about a year and a half by that time, professionally. So for them to come, I admittedly was nervous, right? I was nervous with my parents there, right? And I am really animated on stage. I really go at it, and I sweat through my clothes. I get after it, right? I'm there we're gonna have a good time. And that night I crushed it, and I say that again with humility because I didn't expect to. I thought, Mom and Dad are going to be here. I'm stepping all over my lines. It's going to be miserable, right? I'm not going to be able to have enough shots up to the stage to get me through here. Well, I did. I had a great night. And at the end of the night, it was packed. And it was not that big of a bar, but I think they broke the fire code that night because they probably had 200 plus people in there. And I went over to a guy, worked my way when I was done. And people were cheering me and patting me on the back. But I'm trying to get to my parents and the table where my family's at, and my sister with our friends. And I get over there to my mom and dad, and I hug my mom. She's crying. She's having, oh my gosh, thank you, Mom. But my dad he was a man's man. My dad's about 6'5", and he was gigantic. He's probably 290. He was a big dude, but he was just right. And I leaned over. My dad doesn't hug, right? He wasn't a hugger. He would arm bar you, put his arm and then pull you in, right? And I leaned in, and he pulled me into his ear, and he said, "I'm proud of you, boy." And he said, "Now I want you to go around and thank every single person in this room for coming here for you tonight."
Yeah.
And he said, "Because without them, you wouldn't have got to do this." And he said, "I want to remind you of something." He said, "Your humility is your greatest gift."
Wow.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'm good. I could that if I remembered anything that my dad ever tried to tell me, I could that I'm good. There I'm good. I'm
Cool.
good.
Oh, I'm glad we included the question that we ask everybody.
Yeah.
You had the best answer.
Oh, thank you, God. That's
J. Marc
that's how,
Chambers,
that's how I feel. Yeah.
you're off the hot seat, my friend. Well done.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. It's been
We've-
you guys have been great, and I've
We've
looked
got
forward
to.
to this. I have looked forward to this. So thank you guys so much for having me.
Our pleasure, totally, Jay. We've got a few moments to get together, and
Sure,
we're going to turn it over to you for the shameless self-promotion portion of our time together, man. How do people get in touch with you? Where you at? What you doing?
Okay.
Got any good shows coming up or anything?
So I'm taking a little bit of time off because we are prepping to get ourselves out to Phoenix, and we're trying to get out there sooner than later. There's a couple, like I said, there's some contracts out there. We may be doing some tournaments before the 17th, so that's what I'm spending my time working on. And of course, it's Thanksgiving week, so
Sure.
I'm doing some family stuff this week. But you can go to our website, which is wholehecklers.com, to find out more about us. You can also contact us at info@wholehecklers.com if you'd like to find out anything about us or you'd like to inquire about having us at your event. You can also follow us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we are on Twitter as well. But if anything, just follow us and become a friend, because we love fans, and we like to share our stories and things that we're doing. And maybe you can tell us about an event that you have coming up. Don't hesitate. We do have a great package called Comedy on the Green. And I tell you, if you want to have a great comedy show the night before your golf tournament, it's well worth it. Plus, you're going to start your fundraising right out of the gate, because we're out there to help you guys, and that's what we want to do. Is we want to change the game of charity golf events. We think they should be a lot more entertaining.
They should,
and we're going to try to make them all that way.
You should have a lot more fun at them.
Yes, sir.
J. Marc Chambers.
Let me jump in here, John, just for a second.
Sure.
I can tell you that from my experience with J. Marc, if you call the number that's on the website, he will get back to you really quickly. Because I can tell you, of all the guests that we've had, I was actually calling him this morning, and before I could go to voicemail, he was calling me back. So if you are thinking about doing this and you're like, well, yeah, but he's probably got no, this man gets back to you quickly, number one. And number two, if you go to the website, which is wholehecklers.com, there is a lot of good information on there. People who have done it before, testimonials and stuff. So again, if you have questions, but you're a little shy about calling and wanting to get it, there's a ton of information on his website.
We've got references. We got personal references as well. If people do reach out to us and they want to contact somebody, we have people that are more than willing to speak on our behalf. But yeah, we want to be a part of your event, and I got to find a way to get out to hang out with both you at some point, or find us a way for us all to meet in one place, and then we all can chase each other around the golf course with insults.
Sounds like a good time to me.
That's a yes. That's a hell yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Kentucky, John, I will tell you this. I'm going to be I will be in Batesville, Arkansas. I know that's not too much of a hike, but we're doing 2 events out there in the spring. We're doing a gala out there to help raise money for Lyon College, but then we're doing a golf tournament out there. I will keep you guys posted. If you guys are interested in making the travel, I may be able to donate a fortune to you guys for the tournament.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh.
And Neil and I have been talking too about we interviewed Mike Timlin, who's the pitcher for the Red Sox that helped them win the World Series.
Yeah.
His mom passed away from ALS.
Okay.
As did mine. So when we had him on, we said, hey, let's do a golf tournament to raise money for ALS.
Yeah.
So we're about to try to put our money where our mouth is, and that'll probably be at the French Lick Resort in French Lick, Indiana.
Oh, so, come on, even better.
We'll give you a holla, man.
Yeah, no, please do. I'd love to come out and work with you
Yeah.
guys. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, I want to thank you guys again for having me today. I really appreciate it, and I'm humbled by it. I'm fortunate that I do get to do this frequently just because of my work, and but I never have this much fun. I had a blast today. I had a blast.
We appreciate it. J. Marc Chambers, man, whole Hecklers. Thanks for spending time with us here on The Approach Shot.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jay, I do another show. In fact, it's not just a podcast. It's also on about 102 radio stations coast to coast called Those Weekend Golf Guys.
Yeah.
Which is a show where we don't care.
I did see that. I did because I went and looked it up. I did. I looked you guys up. So
maybe in another couple of weeks we'll get you on, do a segment on there too, man, because it'd be fun. Because that's what we're talking about, just how golfers can have more fun playing golf, man.
Yeah, that's what we want, right?
And there's another thing I'd like to talk to you about. It may be something that we could work together on.
I love that.
I'm doing a thing where I coach salespeople on how to effectively use playing in a golf scramble to make money, because so many people do it wrong. They just give they only play in golf scrambles where they have some sort of an affinity for the organization.
Right.
And then they just give the tickets and the positions away to friends, or, they call friends that play golf, or they give them to your employees or whatever. And there's no sin in actually using a golf scramble to make money.
No, there's not.
We have ways to teach business people how to do that.
My sister works for Great Western University.
Okay.
And that's her job. That's my sister's job, is to play in golf tournaments with potential clients, to help facilitate business for the greater good of the college. So they can place students in jobs right out of college. They can give them internships, but she grows I think it's through a sponsor. That's right. She's raising sponsor money, essentially, right? People are donating, right? All this, but
she's building relationships is what she's doing.
And I'm telling you, that's what she does. That's what I tell. She's like, I'm here. She'll tell me some. She'll invite me to come play, but she'll tell me, she's like, I'm riding with him because we're doing business.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Very cool.
So I admire that, and I'd be glad to help you however I can.
Cool. We'll be in touch. In a couple of weeks, we'll give you a holler, and we'll get you on Those Weekend Golf Guys. And
I'd love that. I'd love that. That'd be cool.
It would be
you guys, thank you again. Any more questions for me?
I'm done.
No, we're good. We're good. We absolutely love it.
Happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
You too, Jake.
Right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, and we'll be in touch in a little bit. Thank you so much, sir.
Tell Lisa we said hey.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.